Hi, this is K.N.Fitzwater. You're watching my channel, and we're back. We're gonna continue on with charity. I heard that this is going to be a major event, and to keep it at the end, I am suspecting that maybe will be a legit couple. I doubt there's going to be a proposal at the end of this. I really do. I really don't think there is a proposal because I don't even know. We're like legit hooked up. So we'll see. And I'll try to keep better track of the episodes. I noticed that a couple of episodes were long, were very long. I was editing them and had to break it in half. So yeah, I'm going to keep better track. And if it's been a full hour, that's it. We're done. Show's over. Good night. Um, and we just go from there. Charity. Cove pushed himself to his feet from where he had been bent down in the sand, stretching out his back and groaning softly. A tired breath slipped past his lips as he wiped his brow, looking out over the shore. It looks great. You sit beside him, joining in the surveying of the sand that almost seemed to sparkle beneath the midday sun. The two of you have been out on the beach since sunrise, cleaning up and down the beach looking for various debris, and the work had paid off. Good job. Using a hand to shield your eyes from blinding rays, you glance across the way where the other volunteers from Orca were gathered. They were easily recognizable by the high-vis vests they wore. It looked as though everyone was about ready to wrap things up for the day. I'm just glad it's over and I'm exhausted. Let's be positive. I'm happy that it looks so much better. It was pretty sad looking when we got here. The beaches of this town were practically your own, personal backyard, and you visited them a lot. It felt good knowing that you were helping to take care of them. Too bad not everybody sees the joy in putting trash where it belongs. Oh well. Cove placed his hands on his hips, a pleased grin pulling at the corners of his mouth as he admired the work you've both done. You had begun to realize, during your time volunteering for the organization, how seriously Cove took his service. It was easy to see that it was something important to him. Oh yeah? No. I won't go with the Miranda was right. You volunteer because it's a good reference. When I was volunteering with the Central Kentucky Writing for Hope, I did it because I love horses and I was trying to get some animal experience so I could learn about how to deal with animals in all shapes and sizes for the veterinary field. And it was the best way to get to know or get closer to large animals in the city. And I loved the organization. They're doing amazing work with hippotherapy, which is to help kids deal with balance issues and start getting back their motor control skills that they had lost or for some reason deemed unattainable. And they were able to stand up better, have better control of their limbs, better control of their legs. It's an incredible experience. I've been helping kids so much. And it helps the horses when they're done with dressage or whatever event they were doing. It gives them a chance to do other incredible work and to, be fed, be happy, and be out in a pasture without, after taking care of the kids and walking around, making them feel nice. It was wonderful helping with the horses. It really was. Um, so anyway, enough about that. I did it because I loved working with animals, and I would not do it just for beefing up my reference. I would definitely do this. You feel equally as invested and always give it your best efforts. Always. Every time I work on something, whether it is a job, whether it's writing, whether it's volunteer work, I try to do my best. I just try. It was important that the ocean you grew up with was protected. It had always been a big part of your life, and you felt that at least you could do was give it back in some way. Hey, nice work, Cypher. Thanks. It's been a good year so far. It's crazy to think that it's already time to push the big event. You let out a big breath, thinking of the formal dinner that the Orca organized every year. Being a completely fundraising focused event for large donors, it was crucial for the organization's projects in the year to come. You had to be over 18 to attend, so this was your first opportunity to actually see it in person. Am I just 18? That's right. We just graduated high school, so my character would be 18. It would make sense. I didn't turn 18 until just after high school. I was a summer baby. I was a June baby. I had a birthday this past Sunday. I will eventually upload a birthday stream video. Somehow. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm kind of grudging. All you had heard about it so far was that it was prim and proper occasion with speeches and everything. You didn't know what else to expect from it, as you weren't a part of the group who planned the evening. I'd never been to a fundraiser event. I never had been. Before the big night came around, the volunteers would have to sell the tickets for it, and that's where you would be helping. I'm excited to go. I'm nervous about the event. I don't even really want to go. Tony Stark, I don't feel good. I don't want to go. God, okay. I'm curious about the night. I just shrug. I would be this. I'll be flip-flopping between these two. I'll be happy to go to the event, but also be nervous and accidentally doing something silly, ridiculous, etc. Something to embarrass myself or deal with someone who's going to be nasty. So I'm between these two. No. We're going to be positive. I'm excited to go. Let's be positive. You rocked back and forth on the balls of your feet as he thought of the glitz and glam of the evening. Cove nodded, but something about his smile seemed strained. What are you hiding? I'm glad you're here. Oh, no, I'm glad you are. Oh my god. Someone please stop me. I just don't feel excited about attending a super formal meal with proper etiquette and stuff, He threw his arms out to the side, making a bit of a show at how ridiculous it seemed to him. I got sand all over my room and only one nice shirt, and I go barefoot pretty much whenever I can. I'm gonna be so out of place. He could just, depending how formal it is and how informal, could simply just throw on a blazer and some good slacks. Maybe a nice shirt. At least a button up. Would be okay? Depends on how formal it is. Because if it's a um, black or white tie event, yeah, I that would be kind of out of place. Doing something that fancy will make it fun. That is true. You have an excuse to dress up. I wish I had more excuses to dress up and go out and do things. Um, yeah, I'll say that. How often do we get a chance to dress up nice or eat an expensive meal? Cove chuckled and shook his head at you in amusement. A small beeping noise came from Cove's pant pocket and he pulled it out and glanced at the screen. Huh? It's the organizers. They sent a text to the group. Time to call it a day here. Alright, ready to head to our next activity? Cove took his cell away eagerly, turning to you. Let's head over and drop the trash bags off of the trucks. Then we can drive back and join the ticket team. We gotta be there pretty soon to relieve them. With a stretch of shore this long, the plan was to switch places with the other team who had been pushing the tickets for the fundraising dinner halfway through. That information's kind of redundant. We know what's going on. It would be a full day of work, but it was Orca's largest event of the year, and all hands were on deck to make sure it was a success. Now that's new. That's new info. Oh, how do I react? Like, oh my god, we gotta go. I ran off. You galloped down the wide open shore, sparing a quick glance back over your shoulder to make Cove was following. He was. You collected the trash bags spread along the way together, heading across the beach to hoist them into the trucks before heading off to the next job. Ah, the familiar car scene. The drive back to your neighborhood and making your way to the shopping street was fairly quick, though Cove stressed a little about being late. I can't blame him. Luckily, he was able to find a parking spot nice and close to where you needed to be. Jump out of the car and quickly went towards where you knew the group would be. Finally reaching the stall that was set up to sell tickets, you stopped for a moment to catch your breath. That was quite the flurry of activity. It would be your job for the rest of the afternoon to help sell tickets for the fundraising dinner, and looking around the street, you saw that there were plenty of potential buyers out today. That will hopefully help to move the tickets along. The stall itself was simple. A portable table with a few plush sea animals as decorations, and a banner stuck across the front. Oh, are we going to sell those little tiny crab sea animals? That would be so cute. There were two volunteers who were already packing up and getting ready to head off to the beach. They gave both of you a friendly smile as you arrived. Hey, Cypher. How things are going at the beach? It was good. The place was looking great. Oh, the place is looking great. We're lucky to get 2 for 1 when it comes to you guys. Cove cleared his throat awkwardly from beside you, and you notice his cheeks flushing pink. Here we go again. I did not get it. Hold on. What? I did not get it. What do they mean by it? We're lucky to get a 2 for 1 when it comes to. Oh, we're saying like we're like 2 peas in the pod. Oh. It, I would be. I. I do not get it. And I wish I would be like, I am just confused and I will just smile and nod it because I have no clue what they're saying. Yeah, let's just go with that. I don't know. Oh God, I am not going to be with it today. because I was not thinking. We're always happy to be of service. Well, we're happy to have you around. Cove seemed to relax a little more after that, giving the volunteers a small smile. Sam makes me wonder if he sees me more than a friend from this interaction. I just still don't know. I know we're like best friends now. The volunteers made room for you and Cove behind the table, while they circled around to the front of it. Thanks for coming in for a shift. We better make this quick so we can head off to the next place. No problem. What do you need us to do? We're ready for whatever is needed. One of the volunteers handed you a clipboard with all of the details needed to sell tickets, while the other tossed a set of keys to Cove, which he cut with ease. Those are the money box and supply kit. Make sure to keep them on you at all times. Aside from handling the cash with the tickets, there's also a form on the clipboard for the guests to fill in their info. That way we know how many tickets we sold and who will be attending the event. There's a small script beneath if you get stuck or what to say and what's it about. Pretty simple, huh? I think we got this. Satisfied that you knew what you were doing, the volunteers said their goodbyes and started walking away, leaving you and Cove to manage the stall alone. The keys jingled in his hand as Cove waved them off, before he stuffed them into the pocket of his pants for safekeeping. Bye, have fun! Once the volunteers were out of sight, Cove dropped down into a chair behind the counter with a sigh. We made it here just in time. It's cool we traded place with nothing happening. They might have been late getting to clean up duty. He leaned back in his seat, getting fully comfortable in the space, and gave you a small smile. No, I'll sit. It was just a simple plastic chair that squeaked when you sat on it, but it gave you a good view of the street. We got things under control. I was so stressed about getting here. Things could still go wrong. I'm so negative. I'm glad this work let us at least rest in one place. You rub at your eyes tiredly? That's something I probably would do. You return his smile. I would either do this or rub my eyes. And I'm more of a talker. I was so stressed about getting here. Yeah, the important thing is we made it. All that's left now is to sit around and sell some tickets. Cove rummaged around the station a little, picking up a stuffed toy orca and holding it up in front of his face. Oh, we're not going to see the toy orca picture? Are we not going to see the toy orca picture? It'd be really nice. It'd be really nice. Okay, I guess we're not going to get one. You had to admit that it was pretty cute with its big bulging eyes and oversized flippers. Setting it down on top of the table, Cove moved on to check out the rest of the stall, finding a cooler stash beneath the table. Ah, sweet. When he pulled it out and opened the lid, you could see it was filled with half-melted ice cubes and about a half a dozen bottles of water. Grabbing one of the plastic bottles, he unscrewed the cap and took a long drink. He watched the condensation running along the side and onto his fingers. Do you want one? Yes. Always stay hydrated. I'm gonna have to get one. Okay. I got this. It is... Hold on. I have to use sure and tell. Yes, my first name is Katrina. That's why there's a K. And there's a personal message in the back, but it's really for me. So, bam. It's not a little bit event. It was one of my many, many, many birthday gifts. This one was the first to come in because I was completely stressing out over my job and everything. And this had helped me out so much. So, yes, stay hydrated. Hmm. Cove set his water on the side of the table before pulling out another, holding it out towards you. Yes, you accepted the water bottle. Thanks. After opening it up, you took a drink and let out a satisfied sigh. You hadn't realized how thirsty you've been. It's always good to stay hydrated. The two of you got settled in easily, and you took the chance to look over the paperwork on the clipboard. Cove joined you, leaning over your shoulder to get a better look. Seems like pretty standard stuff. He muttered, and you nodded quietly. It had general info about the event and the work you needed to do at the stall, as well as the amount of tickets that sold thus far and the number remaining. Cove tapped a finger on the counter as you read quietly of the notes, muttering a few things now and then that you didn't fully hear. Or I should say, didn't quite hear. He seemed content to be there, and you were sure that the afternoon would pass by quickly. When he glanced out towards the crowd and made a small sound, you followed his line of sight to see the potential supporter was on their way over to the booth. I probably will be feeling this. You feeling anxious. It was time to do customer service. It wasn't always easy for you to do things like this, especially when those things require talking to strangers. You had to remind yourself that you were doing it for a reason. Taking in a deep breath, you made eye contact with the customer and gave them the small smile. Time passed and the two of you manned the stall, and as people approached, your sales pitch would either have them asking for a ticket or two, and hitting up and mumbling, oh, maybe next time. All in all, you managed to sell a decent amount of tickets, and you could tell that Cove was happy with the outcome. As the afternoon drifted along, 6 p.m. arrived. Time to pack everything up and head home for the evening. Your work with Orca was far from over, but right now there's only one thing left to focus on, attending the actual event. See, I will have the whole thing planned ahead of what I should be wearing, how I'm gonna do my look. I would do like about 2 days ahead of time if it's a really big event, and I will have it staged so that way I could just roll into it as quickly as possible. Sometimes it takes an hour once I get started. I got it better where it can be a little bit less than an hour. The days continue on in a normal flow, and before long, the night of the Orca fundraising dinner was upon you. It was early evening, and you were in your room, getting ready as the minutes ticked closer and closer towards the time you needed to leave. I will be doing this on my own. I always had done it on my own. It was kind of peaceful not having anyone else around to rush you. You know you had to get going before it was too late, but at least this way you could hear yourself think. The event had strict guidelines, and you wouldn't be let in. Oh, and you wouldn't be let in unless you were dressed to code, which meant having to find a truly professional outfit, but the one you're also happy with. Yes, I would be happy to dress a little fancy. Yes. There were a couple of outfits that didn't get nearly as much use as you would like, and now it's time to show them off. You smile as you pick your way through the items, your excitement shining bright. Taking a deep breath to refocus yourself, you looked over the options one last time. It was time to decide on an outfit, and quick. I probably would do a dress for a formal event. I have done dresses for operas. We have a small opera in town. Orchestras. One time there was a big dinner event um, at my church. That was cool. I had a dress for that one. But that's about it. That's the only time I really wore dresses. Um, and it's always in the evenings. Standing in front of your mirror, you quietly assess your outfit. Always accessorize. Always. And add a little something extra to finish it all off. Rummaging through the rest of your wardrobe, you pick out what you needed to complete your outfit. I want details, game. Can we not have the details? Oh, here we go. Yes, necklace. Taking your best necklace from your jewelry box, you turn back to the mirror, clasp it around your neck. Earrings. You're hurried to put on a pair of earrings to match your outfit, aware that time was running short. Bracelet. And that was it. And with that, makeup. You decide to apply makeup, yes. Leaning up in front of the mirror again, you grab your makeup bag and apply what you needed. Oh, okay, so back then, I did not do foundation. Yeah, I did not do foundation because at the time I felt like my skin was pretty even toned. I didn't need it. So I would do blush, I would do lipstick, I would do eyeshadow and mascara. Nail polish takes forever. You gotta have that set a long time ago. I didn't really get into eyeliner. That wasn't the protocol until after I graduated, where you have an eyeshadow and the eyeliner. When I was in college, we had the smoky eye going on, and it will just smoke out. So I didn't worry about the eyeliner too much. That was everything. Finally, you were dressed and it had all come together. Cuff sent through the text saying he was heading to the car and would see you in a bit. That's perfect timing. Normally, they'll be there waiting. I've been in a situation where a guy had to wait on me, and I felt so upset that they had to wait on me, and I was trying to get everything all together, and I was rushing, and normally when you go down to meet your dude at the bottom of the stairs, you kind of do a chit chat with everyone else and then say bye. I was like, okay, let's go. We're gonna go. It's time to head out. So that was funny. You carefully headed down the stairs into the living room where your moms were waiting for your parents. Oh, hold on, let me edit this. Look at them. Oh, I love them. As you entered, the both stood from the couch and came over to you, smiling broadly. You look so wonderful, Cypher. Nice. And very mature, too. Nice work, kiddo. They continued to coo and fuss over you until you managed to brush them off. Maud took Mom by the arm and held her close, and the two of them admired you proudly. Oh. The attention I get from my folks or my whole family tends to be mixed because they're always doing dinner and I'm heading out while they're doing dinner. Um, they wouldn't fuss over to this degree. So I'll just say thank you. It felt a little strange to have everyone's attention on you, but you like it nonetheless. Liz smiled at you from where she stood, her expression soft. Ma came in to give you one last hug, and before you knew it, another pair of arms wrapped around you. Then a third. Oh my goodness! Then again, in this game, I don't think I have dressed up that often. When I was in school, like K through 12, I was in the orchestra, so dressing up was mandatory. Same thing in college. I have to dress up because I had to do orchestra. And that kind of mindset of that level of dress, that type of formality, kind of stick with me when it comes to other social events. So it's just, I guess my family's just used to seeing me dress up to the nines before. This one, I keep forgetting. Um, this is such a rare occurrence. We hope you have so much fun tonight. Have fun. We won't wait you up for you. Stay out as long as you need. You're old enough now. Wow. With the last wave goodbye, you left your family and approached the front door. It was time. Stepping out into the night, you close the door behind you gently and look out across the street. Oh! Oh, look at him! Oh. He's so cute. That's a really nice shirt. He dressed up nicely. That's really good. He looks great. Cove was standing there in the street. His eyes met yours immediately, and as if he had been watching your house for the moment you would come out. He smiled bashfully. Hi, Cypher. Hey, I hope you're ready to do this. You took the chance to check over his outfit as he walked across the way to meet you. It was formal for sure, though it didn't feel overly posh. It made sense for him and was honestly a sight for sore eyes. It was always beautiful to you. Oh, I like that last sentence. He looked you over as well, a subtle blush creeping over his face as he quickly cleared his throat and averted his gaze. Oh, you... He seemed to be struggling to find something to say, rubbing at an exposed part of his arm awkwardly. Thank you for coming with me and for dressing really nicely for this. It looks good. I'm gonna die. Better than good, really. Great, I guess. Something else. So, yeah. I never had a guy be that awkward. That's probably the most awkward thing I have heard in my whole life. You look very nice too. You're so hot? No. I would not shrug. You felt shy over it? I don't know which way to go. I would laugh. Honestly, I would laugh. I would say thanks and peck him on the cheek and we'll just go or something. But I want to give him a compliment. You look is very nice too. You glance over him from head to toe, noting that his shirt, pants, and shoes were all shiny and new. Very nice indeed. He ducked his head a little to hide his expression, but you didn't need to see it to know he was pleased that you had said so. Thanks. When he shook his head, glancing back towards the garage and throwing a thumb over his shoulder, spoke. We should probably get going. Don't want to be late to such a grown-up an event, right? Yeah, let's go. You headed over to Cove's car together, hopping in and strapping on your seatbelts. You were on your way. The event was being held at a place you'd never been to before. You brought up the location on your phone to help Cove navigate there. It took some time to find the right address. Once there, you were met with the task of finding a parking spot. Though you were on time, it seemed like everyone else had already showed up and claimed the spaces. I can't can't speak today, folks. It's just not going to happen for me. Eventually, you found a suitable place before realizing that it required payment. Cove covered the amount, taking a ticket from the machine and leaving it on the dashboard of the car. Oh, this is extra swanky. And we got the aquariums off to the side. Oh, wow. This is the type of reception you get in a wedding reception. I mean, it's that level of formality. Wow. Holy cow. Okay, yeah, it's a good thing I did dress up to the nines for this. Despite this small holdup, you managed to ultimately make it to the event and confirm you're on the guest list before being shown into the dining area. Cove whistled low as he looked around, taking in the extravagance of the room. Chandeliers hung from the ceiling, and the entire place was decked out with beautiful oceanic displays. You were Stan yourself. It was extremely high class, even more so than you had already expected. That is true. I wasn't expecting this level of formality. Could be worse. Gosh, that's something that Baxter would say. And not overdone. It's not really overdone. I mean, this is a really nice thing. Honestly, this is a really... This is the best looking event I ever been to, it's true. Your lips part into a wondrous smile as you took in the decorations of the guest hall dressed to the nines. Cove met your eyes with a similar look on his face. You got the impression that he felt the same way about it. The sound of your names being called out echoed over the din in the room. When you look around, you recognize a couple of the organization leaders looking your way. They approach you both in greeting, giving you a welcoming smile and a hello. I never in my whole life, I was announced to the room. So that's fascinating that me and him will be announced to the room and they will welcome us in this manner. Are we really that important in the volunteer organization? Cove, Cypher, we're glad to see you can make it, especially after all the hard work you've done to help make this night happen.
Of course.
Definitely. I wasn't gonna miss it. You were so gonna want to miss it. No. I'm trying my best to figure out what I would say. I probably will joke. You say that as if we had a choice, you joked. You grin as the leaders laugh at the jest and even co-smirk from beside you. Well, thank you for being part of the team. You're always welcome to help us out with activities whenever they come up. Thank you. Cove shrugged then, eyes darting around the place with an awkward look.
So...
I guess we should talk to more people. There isn't much else to do at an event like this. We have to? I thought we'd just sit down and wait for food. Do we have to talk to people? I don't like this. I don't. Maybe this is why they serve alcohol at these type of joints. You find your way into groups of people who were standing around chatting while some light music played in the background. Servers with large silver trays were gliding between the guests, offering drinks and canapes. I probably mispronounced that, so please don't at me. I only heard it. Actually, I never heard of it. I only saw it in words. Cove approached various people as you wound your way through the guest. He managed to broach new conversations as well. You were enjoying talking to so many different people, both guests and members of their organizations alike. Found yourself enjoying the company. The sound of a microphone crackling came from the podium at the other end of the room. Someone who you assume must be the host for the evening was asking everyone to sit down in preparation for the meal and speeches. Oh, thank God. Just, I can't handle it. You and Cove looked for your table, finding it easily enough by the little name cards that were placed delicately beside the napkins. Few others joined you at the table. They weren't anyone that you recognized. The host was still speaking as people were settling, starting off the speeches by giving a welcome to everyone attending. She went on to provide more information about Orca, which she supposed was for the guests who weren't a part of the organization, the purpose of the fundraiser tonight. Orca schools, as she explained it, were to aid in the conservation and restoration of ocean's beaches. So many people who had helped to make the group as successful as it was. When she read off the list of several volunteers who worked on making the event happen, Cove's name was one of the first to come up. Oh, hey! His chest puffed out in pride at that. Your name then came up a little further down the list. You were smiling from ear to ear at the mention. Honestly, I think it would have been by alphabetical order. Because people like that when they're drawing up lists. As you continue on to thank the large donors for the event, you checked over at Cove. He was still grinning happily to himself and tapping his fingers on the top of his knees, pretty pleased to have been mentioned by name. You tried to keep focusing on the speech. I would. You left Cove to his giddiness and put your eyes back on the main event. While the host continued speaking, multiple servers dressed in black were setting the first course of the menu in front of guests. One of the servers set down a plate in front of you, and you thanked them quietly before looking over the dish with interest. You recognized the dish was a simple Caesar salad. Please tell me they have croutons. I would love croutons. I miss croutons. It's the only reason why I would eat salad. Give me any sort of vegetable. Asparagus, broccoli, carrots, green beans, sugar snap peas, anything. Okras. But salads? Come on. The host quickly wrapped up the end of her speech, thanking everyone once more before inviting you all to begin your meal. I have to take that back. I ate a lot of salads when I was in transit. I had to remember that. The salads back then were really good because you could create your own salad. They have a really good, diverse salad bar, and I was able to have those purple lettuce types. Those are really good. So I take that back. I just don't do it anymore. Anyone who had included a special dietary note when signing up for the event received a vegan or vegetarian version. I had to remember that sometimes the additives in the salad may not be as vegetarian or vegan, because they may contain bacon or whatever. So I have to think back a little bit. Sometimes the additives are just not kosher. There are also small baskets of bread set around the table. Yeah, that's not very well, I'm sure people with celiac disease wouldn't reach for the bread. I ate both the salad and the bread. I would if it's going to be a long time. Cove wolfed down his salad before munching into a breadstick, quickly devouring that as well. I hope the next part comes out soon and is bigger. You can hear him mumbling to himself, so you reach over for another piece of bread. Glance around the table and you follow his line of sight with curiosity, knowing that everyone else is still eating this salad. Stopping his hand midair, quickly pulled back and rested on top of his lap without taking another breadstick at all. Yeah, it's about pacing yourself. When it comes to multiple courses, you have to just pace yourself. It was clear that he was starting to feel unsure of himself. He looked a little out of place here. He folded his arms and turned away from them to you. I don't get that. I don't get that phrase. Hey, did you like the salad? It's alright. I had better. His gaze remained purposely tunneled on you, as if he's trying not to think about what the rest of the table might be doing. I would not do that. What the heck? Why would you do that? You work with these people. You gave Code a pat on the hand. You made silly faces to the other guests while they weren't looking. No, I won't do that. You pick up a breadstick and give it to Cove. I'll do that. I'll give him a breadstick. It's okay. Oh, thank you. Cove spoke gently as he took the bread from your hand, looking choked up from fire reassurance. It's bread. It's there to keep your appetite going as the meal comes in. It's not there to kill it. He munched away on it happily, seeming much more at ease. It wasn't much longer until the main course was arriving and the various chicken, steak, and veggie dishes were being served throughout the room. An array of scents wafted through the room, making your mouth water. Oh, I've chosen the sea bass. Okay, fine. Chicken. The plate of perfectly roasted chicken and vegetables was set in front of you with a delectable pale gravy. Cove had gone for the steak, and once he started to dig in, he was completely absorbed by his meal. Oh, I thought he was a vegetarian. Wow. I thought this whole time he was a vegetarian. Am I stupid? How could I not know this? I honestly thought he was a vegetarian because all of his choices were so meatless. Everything he ate was meatless up to this point. I'm sure of it. I'm sure I'm going to look back and I'm going to look at all the things he's done and I'm not going to see any meat. Oh well, I'll focus on my own food. And here I was thinking about food choices that will work with him, like the fudge. I could have gave him all that chocolate. I could have. I could have gave him nothing but chocolate. Okay. Let's focus. It was going to be a full evening, so you wanted to try eating something while you could. Dinner eventually ended, and last of all was dessert, a lemon sorbet that had been partially dyed blue. Everyone's going to have blue tongues and blue lips. The mix of white with bold streaks of blue made the little scoop look like a ball of rowing ocean waves. Aw, that's cool. The effect was very pretty, but the serving size was small, as it was the price to pay for the artistry. He turned to Cove to find him pouting a little of the size of it. Yeah, it should be bigger. Digging into the dessert, it took him only a few bites to polish it off. Is it really that small? Again, the other people around the table had barely even begun eating. An unimpressed air settled over him, sat back in his chair, sipping at his water unhappily. We'll get more dessert later. You gave him an encouraging smile. I never seen anyone that hungry. Maybe it's still that um, teenage, young adult metabolism. It hasn't really kicked in yet, where it was slowing down. So maybe that's what it is. He looked up at you sheepishly, embarrassed to have been caught sulking over such a thing. He fumbled for defense.
I mean,
It was just really good. That's all. And now it's gone. But I'm okay. No, you're not. With a slight grin, he shrugged to show that he was really fine. All right, Cove. You spit a mouthful of the sorbet into your mouth, enjoying the bright citrusy taste on your tongue. It was really delicious. Oh, geez, I keep swapping words. Another person from Orca got up on the stage to make a speech as everyone was nearing the end of their meal. They spoke mostly about the individual projects that the organization was working on, their plans for the near future, as well as encouraging anyone who was interested to consider volunteering. Coe bent forward over the table with his chin balanced on a hand, listening attentively to the words. As they came to a conclusion, everyone gave them a round of applause. Coe caught your eye and smiled. You'll wonder what would happen now. And then the lights dim. A couple of spotlights came on, projecting a water-like effect around the room. The guests gushed over the ambience, and you look around with the wide eyes of the ripples on the walls. The DJ that had previously been playing some soft mood music in the background announced that the floor was open for dancing, slowly turning the volume up so it drifted through the space. When you glanced at Cove, his eyebrows had shot up and he mumbled quietly.
huh.
I don't know where. Oh, I didn't know there would be dancing. I guess it made sense now that I think about it. Actually, it did not make sense to me. He gave an awkward laugh as he both watched as people rose from their seats. It's clear now that many of the donors were couples. A small crowd had started to form on the dance floor, and the DJ played a romantic song to get everyone started off. Yeah, that's a good way to start off. Cove let his gaze float over the small sea of guests, and he seemed lost in thought. A serious expression had settled on his face, making his eyebrows dip. Slowly, he turned to you, though there was something cautious at his approach.
I.
Do you, I mean, would you want to dance with me? Sure! I was just going to ask you the same thing. He let out a stuttering laugh, relieved. Oh, that's good. He nodded firmly as he rose from his seat, though you notice his hands were shaking at his sides. You walked out onto the floor together, hesitating a little when you turned and stood face to face. Cove had a hard time meeting your eyes, but he lifted a hand for you to take, unsure what else he was meant to do. You accepted his hand easily and gave him an encouraging smile. It took some doing, but amidst your nervous laughter, you managed to find a comfortable enough position and set a rhythm to the music. It was quite nice after that. Every time your eyes met Cove's, he would look away quickly, but he seemed to be enjoying the dance nonetheless. Eventually, he found comfortable enough to speak. A lot has happened, huh? He nodded faintly. You weren't sure if he meant just today, this summer, in your entire time knowing each other. But it didn't really matter. It was true either way. Thinking back on the years that you and Cove have been neighbors, it was difficult to even try to reflect on it at all at once.
I'm so glad.
I'm glad we ended up here. He gave you a soft look and you beamed, knowing that could also mean many things. But from his tone, you were certain he didn't only mean here, at this event. It was more than that. Um, I think we have to tell your dad thanks. So am I. You chuckled happily at the two of you and the long adventure you've been on. Hold on, let me take a second look. Uh oh, but from his tone, you were certain he didn't only mean here at this event. It was more than that. You chuckled happily at the two of you and the long adventure you've been on. Let's just go with that. The party eventually started to wind down, and at last it came to an end. When the main lights turn on, you blink against the brightness of them, making sure you still had Cove in your sights. One final speaker came up to the podium on the stage, thanking all the guests for coming and wishing everyone a good night. That's it. See, around here, the DJ will keep playing all the way up past midnight, and everyone will eventually bow out and leave at their own, time thing. So we don't really stop at one song or two. So that's kind of weird. It was bittersweet to see it come to a close. Your time with Cove here was precious. At least the memories could be brought with you. Giving the space one more look, you walked together with Cove out to the parking lot. I was told this was a special event. And to save it for last. Am I duped? Okay, so we're going to have to end it here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I will see you next Friday. And we're going to see where this is going to take us. So until then, bye-bye.